just to give a snapshot of this region. This region is, over the past 2 years, has had a lot of growth. You look there just as a snapshot of the area. The GRADD region has had 49 new or existing project announcements over the last 2 years. That is a significant amount. As you can see there, the dollar amount that follows that is very, very large. A lot of that has to do with the aluminum industry in this region. The Alaris project in Hancock County in 2014 was the biggest capital investment project in Kentucky. And so there's also been a lot of residual effect from that in terms of growth. 2,500 new jobs. As you see there, unemployment has dropped. You're below the state average on your current unemployment rate. The state average is 4.9%. The national average is over 5%. As state as a whole, we have been under the national average on unemployment for a full consecutive year. That's never happened in Kentucky's history. There's two things driving that. One is obviously private sector growth. The other is there's a shrinking labor market. There's no doubt about that. The silver lining of the recession is that people put off retirement. If that did not happen, I don't think we would have seen the growth that we've seen over the past year. We're also on par to match or come close to matching our private sector investment this calendar year. So we're having 2 consecutive years of record growth in this state, coupled with a shrinking labor market and more job opportunities. So that's no doubt putting a tight squeeze on companies trying to find skilled workforce. There's no doubt about it that this is our biggest, as a state collectively, this is our biggest concern, if you will, and opportunity to grow. It is no longer is it a skilled workforce issue, it's a people issue. When unemployment hits, in some cases in this state, we've got a few communities at 3.2% unemployment. When we get to those levels, about everybody who wants a job has one. And so we have the growth, we have a good business environment. So how do we better the workforce? In some cases, how do we get people to move to our communities to fill the open jobs? It's taking some non-traditional approaches to workforce development. As many of you know, that the workforce system in Kentucky, as it is in many states, is not necessarily an easy system to navigate. There are multiple players involved. There are multiple resources involved. We're not resource poor when it comes to workforce, but sometimes the knowledge of those resources and how they work is not known. As was mentioned, I've been in this job for over 10 years, working in workforce development for a little longer than that, and I don't know all of the resources that are available. There are so many things out there. There are so many programs. And we've taken some steps to try to identify those. About 2 years ago, the partners that are involved that really have the most skin in the game, if you will, when it comes to workforce came together, and the Kentucky Skills Network was created. And what this is a partnership of those entities that are involved in workforce. So the Career Center system, which involves the Education and Workforce Development Cabinet, the local workforce investment boards, and the local career centers, the Kentucky Community and Technical College, our cabinet, the Cabinet for Economic Development, and the Kentucky Labor Cabinet. We came together to try to identify, at our core, what are the resources and services that we deliver. Before 2 years ago, we were having trouble identifying even that very simple thing. What are the core resources that we deliver? So we did some work asset mapping what we have, and there are 4 primary things that you see up there that are offered to business and industry through Kentucky's workforce partners. Recruitment and job placement through the Career Center and the community colleges. Customized training. The Kentucky Community and Technical College is not just an organization that is full of associate's degrees. They do an excellent job of that, but they are the largest provider of workforce training in Kentucky. Anything from soft skill development to technical skills, to training for office personnel. The Kentucky Community and Technical College trains more people than any other entity in this state on behalf of business and industry. Other resources are training incentives. How do we offset the cost of training? Whether it's an OJT contract, whether it's a grant or tax credit through our organization, or a grant through the Community and Technical College, there are a variety of resources to offset the cost of training. Those first three are very traditional workforce programs and resources. The one thing that we are doing differently, really over the past couple of years, is skill pipeline development. That's the buzzword anywhere in education: workforce development, economic development. How do we create a pipeline of high school graduates, dislocated workers, veterans, to provide programs, training, and counseling so that they can make market-based decisions about careers that they're interested in. And so one of the ways communities can be proactive on this is the Work Ready Communities program. Obviously, you can tell by the map, this region has heard of Work Ready Communities. The GRADD region is the first region in Kentucky where every county has some level of Work Ready certification. That's something to be very proud of. And you see there the criteria that a Work Ready credential says about a community. You know, when we work with companies, they want to know about the workforce. Every community says, yeah, we got a good workforce, we can help you find people. So one of the benefits of Work Ready Communities is here's something measurable about the workforce in your community. You can say, we have this graduation rate which exceeds the state and federal average. We have a national career readiness certification completion rate of this. We have broadband availability to this percentage of our county. Educational attainment is above the national average. So this brings some metrics to the conversation when communities talk about workforce. While that's great, the best thing that Work Ready Communities offers is that there has to be community commitment. So elected officials, educators, business and industry, economic developers have to sit at the table together and talk about and take a hard look at the numbers of what is good about our workforce and education systems, what's not. And then you have to develop a plan to achieve the goals that the credential sets. And so what that does is it brings people to the table that sometimes weren't having conversations at all. Our biggest problem in workforce for years is that the stakeholders weren't talking to each other. Is that companies weren't talking to the community college system or to the superintendent's office or to the workforce board. Those relationships weren't there. And so companies were saying we can't find good people. Educators were saying, you know, we've got all these programs, but the companies are saying that's not what they want. Now they get together, they're talking through those issues and creating solutions. So this is one of the most effective ways for communities to address their workforce concerns. The other is Kentucky FAME, the Federation for Advanced Manufacturing Education. What this organization is, it's a sector-based industry partnership. Right now that consists of 125 manufacturers from all over Kentucky that is divided among 8 chapters. If you want to take a perspective of this, a year ago today, this organization had one chapter of 18 companies. Over the past year, it has had unbelievable growth. What makes it successful, again, is the partnership between the stakeholders. You're bringing together business and industry that are saying, here are the credentials in manufacturing that we need right now, and they're also talking about credentials that they're going to need in the future. So right now, how this works is that KCTCS has a program, an educational associate's degree, called the Advanced Manufacturing Technician. It is a very accelerated, high-quality associate's degree that is in industrial maintenance. In manufacturing, that is the biggest skill need across the country, is industrial maintenance. Not just can they fix something, but it's multi-skilled. It's, can they operate the technology? Can they assess it when it is broken? Can they then fix it and make it operational? And so what this has done is the companies, it started in Central Kentucky. They went to their community and technical college and said, we like your industrial maintenance program, but we need it to be different. We need to incorporate work experience. We need to incorporate soft skills. We need to incorporate things like safety and quality and efficiency into the curriculum. So students get sponsored by companies. What sponsorship means is that they work for companies 8 hours a day, at least 3 days a week. So they're getting hands-on job experience that correlates with their academic program. They go to school 2 days a week, 8 hours a day in a simulated work environment. So they are getting theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge side by side. They're getting paid for their work experience. In some cases, they're getting paid to cover the cost of their tuition. At the completion of this 18-month associate's degree, students are walking into a career with a high level of skill, with no student debt at an average wage of $45,000 a year. The program is also transferable into engineering school and business school. So it creates a career pathway, and it introduces students to very technical opportunities within manufacturing. As it stands today, we have about 150 students who are sponsored throughout the state. I will suspect that this time next year we will have tripled that number going into the fall of 2016.